Sugar Ray Leonard was one of the leading boxers in the world in the 1970s and 80s.
As the ring's most charismatic figure began a slow fade into the twilight of his luminous career. And a young Ray Charles Leonard dreamed of following in the footsteps of his heavyweight idol.
A champion in the boxing world, inspired by heroes of his own.
I saw Muhammad Ali and I wanted to be so much like him. He was more than a boxer, he was considered an entertainer, an artist.
He burst into national prominence in Montreal.
Sugar Ray Leonard from the United States has been such a popular favorite here so far. Young man from the Washington, D.C. area, Palmer Park, Maryland.
Early on, it was very clear there was something special about Sugar Ray Leonard.
So it's Cuba against the United States, Aldama against Ray Leonard.
When Ali left, we never thought there would be another major attraction.
Ray Charles Leonard was born 35 years ago in Wilmington, North Carolina, and boxing was literally the only way he could find to get out of the ghetto.
The Cuban is hurt. The Cuban is hurt.
He says he's just someone who never could pass up a good fight, ever since the 1976 Olympics, where he pummeled a Cuban to win the gold medal for the United States.
Boom, perfect timing.
With the right lead. Leading up, the Cuban is ready to go. The referee stops the contest. The crowd goes wild. Ray Leonard, the former Ford Farrell, his dream is realized as he has won himself a gold medal.
All of a sudden, Sugar Ray Leonard is the people's choice. And I tell you, everywhere he goes, the man commands a crowd.
Now he steps up to the winner's podium, turns and waves. Scene he and his mother and father have been dreaming about.
Ray thought it would be his last fight.
And I really was sincere about not fighting again. I just felt that it was the end.
He wanted to go to college, but with both parents ill, he decided that a boxing career was a financial necessity.
My father had spinal meningitis and tuberculosis. He was nearly 3 days into going to a coma.
After his success at the Olympics, Leonard wanted to go to college. However, his father became ill and his family needed money.
He formed a team to continue his boxing education. Janks Morton, Dave Jacobs, his trainer, and Angelo Dundee, his manager.
It must be a little different fighting for your parents' survival than it is just fighting for yourself.
My family was really down and out, and I felt it was my obligation to really help them out.
Making his professional debut here, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard, first professional fighter. This kid might be the finest one he's ever worked with.
As it has been for so many others born with little, Ray's fists delivered him from the streets.
He reminded me so much of Ali. Shot. We're going to find out whether Vegas can stand up under this kind of punishment. It's never been done. He reminded me so much of Ali, even in his expression. He had his mouth open telling Vega to come to him over there.
You're right. It looked like a miniature Muhammad Ali. Fantastic. A day for Sugar Ray. And both fighters smiling to the crowd. Over 8,000 on their feet, and they are letting Sugar Ray Leonard know, there, you're back home.
Leonard is the obvious successor to Muhammad Ali at a lower weight, the All-American boy, the ex-Olympic champion.
Rags to riches, overnight.
Sugar Ray had it all. He had the looks, he had the ability, he was agreeable to white America, and not only just black America. Sugar Ray was a marketing marvel.
The boxing community watching Sugar Ray very closely. He's a comer.
Sugar Ray Leonard had a very, sweet style, man.
Fireballs in trouble, on the ropes, and there goes Sugar Ray. There's the speed we saw in Montreal.
so smooth. He just understood how to work the ring and how to make it look super easy.
Sugar Ray Leonard and Willie Fireball Rodriguez. Winner by unanimous decision, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh, what a time it was when boxing was king.
Sugar Ray's turning 7-0.
When I went into that ring, I was a beast.
First round action.
I've told people all over the world that Bruce Lee was one of my idols. He could generate so much speed and velocity in his punches.
Good. Good. Sugar Ray is showing the kind of flash, the kind of polish.
Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Whipped him all over the ring in the second round. A tremendous performance from a 21-year-old.
The type of leverage he was able to gain because he understood.
Another knockdown from the right.
The mechanics of the body.
Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Down he goes. This time, maybe down for keeps. It is over. Sugar Ray Leonard has knocked out Frank Centaur. Jubilation in Sugar Ray's face.
Yet there was a time when people doubted his progression from Olympic hero to welterweight champion.
In the early stages of my career, I was criticized quite often because people felt that I was being moved along too quickly.
Oh, there's his son on his sock. And of course, Sugar Ray is a man who believes in symbols and signs like those. Red Fox. Bill Cosby here, too, at ringside.
Once in a while, a fighter comes along who transcends the sport.
As you can see, we're counting down to the end of the 5th round. Oh! He got him into the midsection, and suddenly Estrada went down. Sugar Ray Leonard, who can fool you with his punching power. Sugar Ray Leonard. And quickly, he sped across the ring to get at Estrada.
Sugar Ray Leonard is sort of the mini Ali.
And it's over. Sugar Ray Leonard showing his jubilation. And why not? The young man has just captured his 5th consecutive professional victory.
He was the most charismatic fighter out there.
One writer called him a combination of Madison Avenue, Main Street, and Marvel Comics. As predicted, Leonard began a steady march toward greatness.
Here it is, surviving the punishment, but a tremendous round. For the young Olympic fighter, tremendous. It's over. It is a first round knockout for Sugar Ray Leonard, and by far his most spectacular performance as a professional fighter.
Well, Sugar Ray Leonard is charismatic, the refined boxing machine with dazzling speed.
Ray Charles Leonard is the most celebrated fighter in the world today.
Leonard has done a nice job using his skills and God-given talent. Fast hands, fast feet.
The 1976 Olympic champion.
Smiling again. Edmund is down. Let's see if they call that a knockdown. Edmund is down. I think he made Leonard mad.
Eklund's mother is coming to the corner, and she is suggesting to some of the corner people to stop the fight if he gets in any more trouble.
She's crying, by the way.
She's got tears welling up in her eyes. Got a cut over his right eye.
Finish him.
He was on his way down, and things are being thrown in the ring.
The mandatory 8 count.
He was much more than an up-and-coming welterweight. Ray's quick feet and his gift as an entertainer in the mold of Muhammad Ali made him boxing's richest contender in history.
We put Ray Leonard on the cover of KO magazine. We sold. We had been used to doing that with Ali.
I covered all your great fights, and they were great.
Olympic champion of the world, undefeated in the pro ranks, Sugar Ray Leonard.
I believe that in your prime, you would have knocked out Floyd Mayweather Jr. in his prime.
Ray would like to finish him off.
Am I right about that?
Yes. He reminds me of his father. I fought his father back in 1978. I knocked him out.
So Sugar Ray Leonard scores a technical knockout in the 10th round.
He fights every minute of the round. He's ambitious. He wants to be a great man in the ring. He has a lot of tools to be that great man.
One by one, opponents like Johnny Gann fell to their accustomed place on the deck.
Gann may go down. He lost his house lead. 20 seconds to go in the round. There goes Gann down on his back.
The four kings of the 80s, they raised me as a boxing fan. Post Muhammad Ali, that's what I grew up on.
It'll be unbeaten boxing sensation Sugar Ray Leonard trying for his 19th straight professional win.
The first time that Marquardt has ever been down.
The bell for round one, the action begins.
In 1979, Sugar Ray's most impressive performance to date took place when he knocked out Pete Ranzani in 4 rounds to win the North American Boxing Federation Welterweight Championship.
Hard right hand by Leonard. Ranzani's in trouble.
I'm not known to be a big puncher. I'm known to be a consistent puncher. And the first one doesn't get you, I'll get you at the next one.
Many fans and some critics felt Leonard had been a media creation.
Just hanging on. Won't drop.
Unlike other boxers, Leonard did not sign a long-term contract with a single boxing promoter.
The winner and new NBAF welterweight champion, Sugar Ray Leonard.
As a result, Leonard's fights were either broadcast on NBC, CBS, HBO, or ABC. This wide exposure gained Leonard a tremendous following in America and around the world. It also generated resentment among some fans, reporters, and boxers.
We are almost 2 minutes into round one.
That's the right lead, which Leonard specializes, as Ali did for so many years. And hitting him with combination upon combination. Andy Price in trouble. And Leonard, with his arms upraised, the first knockdown of the fight. And it came with the round coming to its end.
By now, it was obvious to everyone that Leonard was ready to battle for the championship. That's when he signed to meet undefeated Wilfredo Benitez for the WBC World Welterweight title. It was a battle of the unbeaten when Sugar Ray Leonard, an Olympic gold medalist, challenged Wilfredo Benitez for the WBC Welterweight Championship on November 30th of 1979.
He and Leonard in a stare down.
He was an exceptional fighter. He was an undefeated fighter at that time.
Heavyweight one, round one, good left hand by Leonard. Benitez is down.
I didn't have the experience to deal with Benitez, but I had the heart.
And again, the countdown continues. A flash knockdown here in the third.
I saw you beat Wilfredo Benitez to win your first title when Benitez was undefeated and he was considered a form of Sugar Ray Leonard.
It could mean havoc for the fighter. Round 7 underway. Leonard in total control.
He had the same style I had.
Oh, Benitez leg buckle. Down for the second time. That could be the difference. See the time left in the fight. Leonard steps in with a left. And he stops it. Carlos Bonilla stops it with 6 seconds to go. Ray Leonard has taken Benitez welterweight championship.
Leonard soared to a welterweight world championship in only 3 years, confirming his arrival as boxing's face of the future.
Pandemonium in the ring.
After turning pro, you said you turned pro, you won a championship 2 years later. Like, how much fun was it being Sugar Ray Leonard in 1979?
Too much fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was almost too much fun. You start making money, you start becoming more famous, people start recognizing
Davey
you.
Boy Green says he has a secret weapon. Well, he kept it a secret because we have no idea how he's going to go against this fast young man born 23 years ago in Wilmington, North Carolina. How long have you trained for the Sugar Ray Leonard bout?
Well, I've trained since Christmas, 3 months. I've done about 400 miles road running, 150 sparring rounds. I'm really ready.
The hometown darling and American hero, Sugar Ray Leonard. Listen. He came in looking at Sugar Ray Leonard like, I don't like you, baby. Looked at the tassels on Sugar Ray's white and red shoes. Sugar Ray didn't like it.
A sneak punch. Sugar Ray Leonard, the charismatic 24-year-old WBC welterweight champion.
Ooh, a good left hook. High on the forehead.
Become America's newest hero.
Oh, a right hand. Most fighters would have gone down.
Then you scored one of the most devastating knockouts I think we've ever seen against Davey Boy Green.
Series of punches. He is down the count and it is over. Davey Boy Green is out. And again showing you this tremendous speed of this likable boy's 23-year-old Sugar Ray Leonard. What a fighter.
He was the most macho fighter in boxing. Those demonic black coal eyes.
His evil-looking, menacing eyes.
He got it. He got under my skin. He really did. He just, he talked trash. He cursed me. He cursed my wife.
He seen Sugar Ray Leonard's wife at a press conference. He flipped her off and yelled, "Whore."
I was in awe of the whole event. I mean, the huge cameras and all the reporters from around the world. It was just too big. I mean, I lost perspective.
Son of a gun. Look how close Duran is getting.
Duran punches were just like cinder blocks, man.
That's probably the hardest one. The press, even the press, is up on its feet.
After the fight, I laid in my room, all sore as hell, and all of a sudden, he walked into the room. He said, "Dad, if I had an ounce of your heart, I'll be okay the rest of my life." I mean, tears came to my eyes. I mean, he didn't know how good I felt. I called Mike Trainer, my attorney, and I said, "Mike, I want to fight Roberto Duran again, ASAP."
The rematch happened just 5 months after the first fight.
Surrounded by his entourage, Sugar Ray Leonard, the challenger.
the champion going into last June 20th. But after that, the challenge. Here comes the champion, the man who openly says that Leonard is afraid.
I'm so focused. I'm ready to go now. It's a totally different attitude. And then Ray Charles sings "America the Beautiful."
Contrary to popular belief, you're not named after Sugar Ray Robinson. It is actually Ray Charles. You had no clue that Ray Charles was going to be in the ring performing what was going to be our anthem that night.
You know, they say, well, you know, the stars were lined up.
Yeah.
That was the stars lined up.
And Leonard, who was very tense in the hours earlier, now seems oddly poised and confident. We'll be back with the start of the fight in a moment.
He comes over to me, gives me a big hug and a big kiss, and he says, "Kick his ass." Oh, there was no way I was going to lose that fight. When the bell rung, when Ray Charles finished singing "America the Beautiful," I knew I had it.
But he catches a right and left, lands all right. That's the Sugar Ray Leonard punch that drew the crowd. These two men do not like each other.
Good right hand by Leonard. Good right hand.
Smiling. He knows he's in with a tougher fighter tonight.
What do you think really happened that night in the Superdome?
Leonard came to fight then, as you said, Larry, confidence personified.
Very confident. And if he can do this for 15 rounds, then you have a new champion.
I was using my footwork and my speed. Never really got against the rope. When I did, I spun out.
Leonard refuses to get pinned against the ropes like he did in Montreal.
Go back and watch that and look at Duran's eyes. It wasn't those piercing eyes.
And it is a vastly different human being that Duran is tonight.
He got personal with you, and you were handling Duran in that second fight. You even taunted him throughout the fight.
Doing a little dodging now and a little Ali. He's taunting Duran.
The frustration, humiliation, the laughter.
He is taunting Duran.
One of the most famous fights in boxing history. I think everyone remembers the bolo punch and the winding up the right hand and hitting him with the left.
And he's got Duran openly, not just furious, but puzzled. Duran troubled by the movement.
The more I heard the fans or the audience laughing, the more I did it. I think those things just totally short-circuited Roberto Duran's mind.
Gets away immediately. And what's happening? Duran says no. I think he's quitting. He said no more. And then he did it a second time.
Hands of stone, turned his back on Sugar Ray and uttered the now infamous words, "No mas."
He says no, I don't understand.
He's saying no, he quit.
I don't understand this.
I think Duran quit.
I don't understand.
Duran has quit. Roberto Duran has quit.
Talking about quitting in the center of the ring. That's the worst way that you can quit.
The bully, the man who could stare you down.
When you claim to be the baddest, the toughest, the roughest, the meanest fighter in the world.
Duran just quit because he didn't want me to knock him out. I hold no respect for him as far as a man is concerned. I respect him as a fighter, don't get me wrong. I respect him as a fighter and as his accomplishments, his credentials. But as a man, I can't.
Does that make it more satisfying that you may have made the roughest, toughest fighter at that time just basically capitulate?
By 1980, the boxing world had two welterweight title holders, Thomas the Hitman Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Tommy Hearns was 6'3", 6'4", some say 6'5". I mean, he's tall, no question about it. Long arms, speed, and power.
Thomas Hearns remained Leonard's last barrier to greatness.
That fight was the most important fight of my professional boxing career. Tommy was the best, and I had to prove that I was the best by beating him. And most people thought, even my brother Roger thought I was going to lose the fight.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to International Sports Special, which highlights a significant milestone in the history of boxing, the richest fight ever staged, Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns, for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. No fight since the Ali Frazier confrontation 10 years ago has created such a furore there.
Now, it's going to be the richest fight in boxing history.
So the WBC welterweight champion Sugar Ray Leonard has entered the ring.
Okay. His punch, Purdy. Can he carry it into the 13th round, 12th round, 14th round?
Running out on Tommy Hearns.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Ray Leonard. Let's be waiting to find out how in the world you pulled that thing out. You were so far behind.
What happened, Doc? You know, I sustained a slight injury to my eye in my workouts.
We fought for the undisputed welterweight crown, and I beat Tommy Hearns, and I was a major underdog.
The title, greatest ever, was within his grasp. When training for a bout in the spring of 1982, he suffered a detached retina of the left eye.
I mean, look, the pinnacle of my career, I was really just defeated Tommy Hearns. I unified the title, and things were just getting better for me. And then I was victimized by an injury.
The American public has focused its attention on Ray Leonard's eyes, desperately searching for answers.
All the money in the world is not worth the risk of losing the sight of one eye.
Only in imagination. A fight cut down in its prime, like Ray Leonard, by injury. A violent dance undanced. 5 years ago, when Ray Leonard was as good as any fighter I ever saw, I thought he'd beat Hagler. Today, I don't.
I still thought at the time is my time right now, and he's in my time. You know, his time was when he first came out the Olympics and all that stuff before he retired.
So now, Sugar Ray Leonard faces a new challenge. Millions of Americans are wondering why a wealthy young man would risk the precious sense of sight to achieve a historical greatness many believe he has already recorded.
Sugar Ray Leonard, does he actually have a shot at beating Marvin Hagler?
It seems that out here the feeling is everybody wants Leonard to win, of course, with the exception of the New England contingent, but everybody thinks Hagler will. You have to wager $370 on Marvin to win $100. Basically, he is better than a 3.5 to favorite, 3.5 to 1 favorite.
The risk of losing the sight of one eye.
In the early 80s, when Hagler was obviously the best middleweight in the world, he cleaned out the division.
You read the papers? Do you know what everybody says? It's suicide!
And what you tell me I can't do, I will do it.
You've seen him, you know how strong he is. You can't win!
Comeback fights don't work. They don't work. Look at boxing history. Forget about the names Leonard and Hagler. Forget. Call them Fighter A and Fighter B. The Fighter B is the fighter who comes out of retirement. Boxing history will show you it doesn't work.
He is the challenger and former undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Leonard. Here is the world marvelous Marvin Hagler.
But that's in the gym. Because it's been a 5-year inactivity period for me.
Because of the eye.
Yeah.
Larry, I've got all 3 rounds for Sugar Ray Leonard.
And he was calling him a wuss. He was calling him a sissy.
He said, stop and fight like a man, you little bitch.
I couldn't beat Hagler physically. I had to beat him psychologically and spiritually.
For my money, one of the best fights I've ever seen. More than 100 combined punches thrown by the two of you per round.
Still hands at his side, talking to Hagler, tries to fight off the rope. And he wound up and hit him to the stomach. Off the rope. Leonard fighting off the rope. The crowd chanting Sugar Ray. Will be confirmed.
By a split decision, and new middleweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Leonard.
I thought it was one of the most magnificent performances I've ever seen.
I made a bunny.
Nobody brings it home like Joe Vincent. Nobody.